Balls are back.
Yeah, they had us the first half, I'm not going to lie.
Oh, could be Wayne!
I think I got my swagger back. Oh!
I love it, baby!
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins! By Tennessee, Jawan Jennings. Jennings makes the catch.
Ball hit high in the air into right field. Going back to Sayre. And Tennessee can say hello, win column. A grand slam in the bottom of the ninth. You can't draw it up any better.
We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now. I made up my mind. I don't expect to ever look back. I'm going to stay at the University of Tennessee.
Reddit did to do. Welcome into More Important Issues. It's Thursday, November 11th. Black jerseys, what do you think? Does that increase the chances or decrease your chances of winning on Saturday?
I mean, I think it definitely will make the environment, the atmosphere a little better, but I'd rather just go out and win the game, if I'm being honest. I'm not really too worried about the color scheme or what we're wearing.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you know what? If it gets the crowd going a little more, and especially if the players like it and, they got a little more confidence going out there, then I'm all for it.
I think it's a publicity stunt. I think they're trying to sell those extra 3,000 tickets they have left.
Yeah. And the black jerseys that they mass-produced for one game against South Carolina.
Yeah. So, people were a little pissed off that they only got to buy what was a $100 jersey for one game.
Yeah.
It's a good point. I didn't think about that. Guys, it is a little different tonight. Joe is with us the whole time. Caleb, just be with if you don't care, people that are in the chat, just keep Caleb's family and Caleb in your prayers. Thoughts and prayers. They'd greatly appreciate that, I'm sure. Not gonna go into detail, but yeah, just keep them in your thoughts and prayers if you don't care. We're gonna talk about Georgia, obviously. Huge game. Number one team in the country coming to town.
Yeah.
I mean, your reward for beating Kentucky on the road is, hey, you got to come back and play the best team in the country.
Why not?
Yep. We said we wanted to play Georgia in November. We're getting our chance, and they're the best team in the country. So that's just how it works. That's Tennessee for you. We're going to talk about renovations.
Yeah.
Little pretty penny. Going to some facility upgrades in Anderson Training Facility. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Tennessee's win over UT Martin to start off the basketball season, and then we'll get into our segments. Maybe get some picks, maybe a guest picker. Who knows? We'll see what happens. So let's get right into it. Georgia, huge test. Number one team, number one defense. I mean, this roster is loaded with 5 stars. It's going to be tough. It sucks.
No, it's definitely straight up going to be. It's one of those where I try to talk myself into it, and I do the same thing every big game. But this one's definitely one of those where you're just kind of finding any little peer of hope to try to point out the positives for. But it's definitely going to be a task.
Yeah, I mean, in 9 games, no team has scored more than 13 points against this Georgia defense. So, hey, if you don't win, hey, let's score more. Let's score 14 points at least. Let's see if we can score the most on Georgia so far this season. I'm not into moral victories. I get that. But with Tennessee's, defense, the roster depletion, it's hard to just, talk yourself into a win. Now, doing the black jerseys, getting people excited, I mean, you're kind of hurting yourself a little bit. Because I feel like you should want to go out there and beat this team somehow, some way, find a way. I mean, Georgia's all about, being the best team in the country and then blowing it. So could this be the game where they finally blow it? It'd be awesome.
That's true. Everyone's saying that they haven't really had that game where you're on your toes yet, thinking this is their blow it game. So, I mean, I'm with you. I'm not really a moral victory kind of guy, but I think for Heupel, I think it's a good chance to show that even if you can go hang 3 touchdowns on them or something and prove that you against all the teams that they've played this year that you can hang the most points on them, I think that's definitely going to show with we talked about, where him coming in and bringing in that offense can help recruits, help him, establish where he wants to be. But I want that W.
Yeah, I mean that'd be huge.
That's what it comes down to.
Because you kind of got that signature win last week in Kentucky, beating a ranked opponent. I think it was the first time we beat a ranked opponent since 2018. Is that right? Did we beat a ranked opponent in 2019?
Probably
not.
I don't
think we did. Yeah, I don't think we did. Yeah, we did. We beat Kentucky that year, right?
Were they ranked? When we beat Auburn at their place, they weren't ranked, were they?
They were ranked, but that was 2018.
Were they?
That was 2018. That was 2018.
That was God.
Yeah, it's been a minute. It has.
Yeah, too long.
And I mentioned this Georgia defense, and this just roster of 5 stars that Kirby Smart has gotten over the past couple of years. I mean, you look at Jordan Davis up front. It starts with him. A lot of people are saying that he should be in the Heisman race. I mean, he looks like the Hulk Buster in a uniform. I mean, he looks freaking. He's just a massive individual. He can move. This whole defense is big, and they can run. Their linebackers can go sideline to sideline with anybody in the country. Nakobe Dean, Quay Walker, Nolan Smith. You have a lot of these guys that are 4 and 5 stars that are playing a little bit, but not just like a huge focal point of the defense. Guys like, you missed out on in recruiting. Guys like Nyland Green, Quay Walker, he's famous for throwing Tennessee's hat on National Signing Day. Tate Ratledge is another one. Zion Logue. Jalen Carter is another guy that's really good on that defensive front for Georgia. So just a ton of recognizable names on that defense that's had 28 sacks and is averaging 6.6 points allowed per game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just insane. That's elite.
Average less than a touchdown given up against some pretty solid teams. It's not like they're just playing, they don't, some of the teams you can say like Arkansas, who just got bumped back into the top 25 for the first, back into the top 25. But that's pretty impressive. That's going to be a big struggle that we're going to need to get past.
Yeah, and giving up like 230 yards per game. So,
yeah,
I mean, it's one where like Tennessee has the offense to kind of be the best offense that Georgia's faced so far this season. But one thing that worries me, the 28 sacks, and Tennessee's given up 33 sacks so far this season. I know a lot of it has been the offensive line hasn't been healthy. It seems to be getting healthier and healthier each week. But 33 times against, and then you add in this defense that can get after you in a hurry.
Yeah,
is very. It just makes me nervous because I was like, we need Hendon Hooker to go win a bowl game. You finish these last 2 games off, you should beat South Alabama and Vanderbilt pretty easily. But you want to get to a bowl game and have a healthy quarterback. You got to keep him upright in this game somehow, some way. And I think it's just going to be a tough task.
Yeah, that's what worries me the most part is I don't think our O-line's faced. Well, obviously they haven't faced a defense as good as Georgia or even nearly so, but they really haven't had that like true test where they've had to really hold up that well, and they are going to have to be like absolute A game if they're going to, because the moment that they slip up with that Georgia defensive line, Hendon Hooker's going to be in a lot of trouble. And he can move. I mean, I know he's quick and he likes to, spam that B button, get the spin move going, but that's going to be trouble, and that's when mistakes get made. That's when we throw interceptions. We don't have time to look downfield, and it just gets a little sloppy. So that's what worries me a little bit.
Yeah, no, I don't think Tennessee's going to be able to just drive the field. I think they're going to have to do what they've done, what they did against Kentucky, what they've kind of done all season, is get those big chunk plays. That's not going to be easy because Georgia can get home with rushing 4. And their DBs are good. They can play press man, so Tennessee's going to have to be better at getting off man coverage, and it's got to be quick. You got to get off press man, get open, and because the ball's going to have to be there because it's these – I mentioned Quay Walker. I mean, these guys are running 4.4, 4.5 40s at 230 pounds. They're coming after you.
They're scary.
Yeah. So, it's going to be a huge challenge for Josh Heupel, but, he's dialed it up all season. I know this is a different kind of challenge, but, I think the biggest thing for Tennessee, get the big chunk plays, kind of like you did in Alabama, and make it a game in the second half is what you're trying to do.
Right. Yeah. One of my other things would be that just got to get rid of like the stupid penalties. We can't give up that many yards because we already have to be like absolutely elite where we are. And if we give up, 70 something yards and penalties, that's just going to be screwing ourselves over. And that's just going to throw in the game. And you're right. The second half's going to have to be huge for us because if we can do what we did against Alabama in the first half and look good like we did Florida at the beginning of the season, then we'll get solid. But something seems to happen where those teams go into the locker room, they come out and they just find our weak spots and really exploit us on them.
Yeah, got to be able to make adjustments against this Georgia defense because I think it's a different kind of challenge. Like the defense is elite, but the offense, it doesn't scare me necessarily. I mean, they're loaded with 5 stars too, and I think they're going to try to exploit Tennessee's middle of the field. And Stetson Bennett, people call him a game manager, but all that man does is win football games. Somehow, some way he does it. A lot of it's probably because of that defense, but he's efficient. I think he's rated more efficiently than Hendon Hooker is to this point. It probably helps that he has a bunch of 5 stars in front of him. I think they returned 4 starters on that offensive line, only giving up 5 sacks this season. He has a stable of running backs, just freaking workhorses, Zamir White, James Cook, Kendall Milton, just like they do every single year. They just always find those freaking running backs that they breed somewhere and just massive individuals.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't help on our offensive side with, our injuries. Tyon Evans, Jabari Small both left Kentucky game with minor injuries, it sounds like, but we can hope that they can come back to full health. And
that'll help with pass blocking too. That was, I mean, that's been an issue too is, Jalen Wright, true freshman, that's a lot to ask for him to try to come up and help block Jordan Davis.
Yeah, exactly.
So need those guys healthy. I would, if Tyon Evans only got 1 carry last week and then couldn't go back in, I would say it's probably like he's probably not playing Saturday. Jabari Small did have a couple more carries, so hopefully he's. But I would think Jabari Small has a better chance of playing than Tyon Evans does.
That's probably my bet, and I think Lenny Whitehead's also hurt as well. So we're just really beat up back there, and that's makes it even.
Yeah, that was Tennessee's biggest strength is you had so many guys: Jalen Wright, Jabari Small, Tyon Evans, Lenny Whitehead, D. Beckwood, T. Hodge.
Yeah,
and now it's kind of just dwindled down to
less
than 100% Jabari Small and Jalen Wright, a true freshman. But I mentioned Georgia's going to try to exploit Tennessee in the middle of the field. That's what Kentucky did pretty much all night. They did some quarterback runs, and Stetson Bennett, he gets labeled as a game manager, but he's pretty athletic, and he will take off if need be, and that's been an Achilles heel for Tennessee all season long. Will Levis looked like a freaking Tim Tebow last week. It was super annoying to see.
Right.
But hopefully we make adjustments. I think, Tim Banks, I don't think that was his best game calling plays on last Saturday. And it looked like when Tennessee actually blitzed and didn't just let him sit back there all day long, it worked out. Byron Young got 2 sacks. Tyler Barron got home one time, even though it probably should have been a face mask, but he got home. Thanks for the no call. But it's fine because we gave him that 4th and 24, and then we stopped on the next. So we didn't let that affect the outcome of the game.
Yeah, it's just going to be one of those trying to adapt really and making sure that, because if you let Georgia do that, it's going to be bad.
Yeah. Got to get home somehow, some way. Don't just sit back there and let him throw it because I don't think you're going to even touch him. You're not going to sniff Stetson Bennett with that offensive line if you're just bringing 4 guys. I don't think it's going to happen, but we'll see. Yeah, Tim Banks, this is a big game for him because I think Georgia's really benefited on that offense from short fields from that defense. So if Tennessee can sustain some drives, keep that defense off the field a little bit, and hopefully we make some plays and keep it a ball game in the second half.
Yeah, that's the thing with time of possession. Obviously, Kentucky dominated that last week, and if you let Georgia have that time, you're not going to be able to make up for it on the offensive side of the ball. Not with their defense. You're not going to be able to go out there and put up 45 points. Like, it's definitely going to take some adjustment over this week and being able to take down that time like a lot. And like you said, keep the defense off the field and try to rely on our offense as much as possible for the game.
Yeah, and I think mentioned in the middle of the field, Brock Bowers is Georgia's leading receiver. He's a true freshman. Tight end Darnell Washington is another name you probably recognize. They'll probably try to utilize him in the middle of the field because Tennessee's safeties, their linebackers, they've had a rough go in pass coverage this season. Theo Jackson's going to have a good game, and obviously those guys are going to have to step up because that's probably where they're going. If I were an opposing OC, that's where I'm going, 100%.
Right.
So you want to give a score prediction?
Oh, I feel like it's either one of the spreads. What, 20? I think I saw that earlier. Yeah. I think it's still like minus 20 in Georgia's favor. Obviously, I feel like it's either Tennessee wins or it's a blowout. I would love to say that it's like fourth quarter heartbreaker, but I feel like Tennessee's offense, if they can really get out there, maybe put up 21-24, if they are like peak offensive performance and can somehow exploit Georgia's defense. So let's go 21-34.
Okay.
I know it's a lot on Georgia's offensive. I don't know. I hope I'm wrong. Normally when I bet in the opposing favor, it's wrong. So
see, I can take my orange goggles off for this because Saturday I'm picking Tennessee. There's no doubt in my mind. But today I'm probably going to go. I'm going to 38-21 Georgia.
Okay.
I think Tennessee does get to the 20 mark. I think they do hit on some chunk plays. I think early in the game they probably dial up some things to – I mean, if Javonte Payton has a catch, there's a 50-50 shot that he's going to score.
Yes.
He literally has 14 receptions and 6 touchdowns. So, get the ball to Javonte Payton. Hopefully he can just take it to the house. Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely one of those things where because once he gets the ball, like that's kind of in his own hands, and I think like that boy can move and he can juke, he can spin, he can move. That I think that's going to be a big thing too. Is maybe not as much deep passes down the field if we can't get him open, but being able to yards after catch is going to have to be a big piece on Saturday.
You got to be able to run the ball to some capacity.
Yeah.
You were able to do that against Kentucky. And I think that's what helped your passing game so much. So, this is a tougher task, especially when you're not healthy at running back. But I think Tennessee has to have some sort of running game to be able to kind of balance yourself a little bit.
Yeah, 100%.
And if I'm Tim Banks, dude, I'm making Stetson Bennett beat me. I'm bringing the house and make him put it in a breadbasket.
Yeah, especially early once with the crowd going and stuff. We can get somebody back there and get sacks and everything. It's going to be huge, and if we can force them to have to adjust on that end, I think. Because
Arian Smith is out for them at receivers, so they have Ladd McConkey and they got some tight ends. I think Karis Jackson is also one of their go-to receivers, but there's not like anybody that I'm just like super scared of.
Right.
Like they don't have a Wan'Dale Robinson. They don't have anybody like that I'm just super scared. Now, maybe they look like that on Saturday if they keep going over the middle and Tennessee's middle of the defense keeps playing the way they are. But, make Stetson Bennett beat you. I think Tennessee's done fine with not letting opposing running backs get the best of them. Again, they got a stable. So you're going to have to tackle a lot better than you did last Saturday. But if you're able to do that, I think Tennessee is at least competitive in this game. I don't think it's a blowout.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think it's definitely a show game for Tim Banks, and I think we've had success once we've actually, gone a little more aggressive with the blitz and, like you said, getting back there to the quarterback. So I think if we're actually aggressive with that this week, because why not? It's the best team in the country, and like you're not going to win just, playing back and keeping it easy. You're going to have to be aggressive and really try to get back there and like you said, force him to make the passes and try to get to him.
Yeah, and turnovers are going to be huge too. You mentioned earlier the dumb penalties. Tennessee can't shoot themselves in the foot. They're going to have to capitalize on turnovers, and I think they got to take care of the football to even have a chance in this one.
For sure. It's going to need to be really just a game all around, like no stupid mistakes.
You got to play your best football.
Yep. It's going to be one of those games.
Who the hell's idea was it to make Georgia the homecoming game?
I don't know, because as far as I know, it's always been just a team you can have fun and beat up on while there's a whole bunch of stuff going on outside. But
you should beat. We've had those games where we could lose some of those, but yeah.
But
it's usually a game
know.
You should win.
Even if it was like even if the Ole Miss game was this weekend, that would be one thing. But really, Georgia, the number one team. That seems
you knew they were going to be good,
defeating. Right?
Like when you planned this, you didn't think.
Right. It's not like they came from nowhere and weren't even top 10 or anything. I mean, this was pretty obvious.
We could have done the freaking Vanderbilt.
Yeah, why not? Kentucky, hell, I don't care. Oh, I mean, it's a away game, but the future,
Whatever. I was just like, that's a weird time. I mean, I guess homecoming isn't a huge deal.
Yeah.
Like in college, I feel like it's a lot bigger deal in high school than it is in college. But still, you want that homecoming game. You want people to come back. You win. You know, the outcome is never really in doubt, and you enjoy your time and then go kind of party after.
Right, because you got all the normal activities outside for homecoming weekend. Last thing you want is just middle of the day get beat up on by the best team in the country, and next thing you know, you're just you kind of half-ass it throughout the day. And how are you supposed to go be excited and stuff when you could get destroyed?
So I went to a Division II private school, so I'm not really up to the Greek life stuff. Is that the biggest thing about it is the Greek life? I know other people are invited back and it's a big alumni thing, but is it more for Greek life? Is that what homecoming I guess is now?
That's basically all it is. It's basically that's at least the poster child of it is that's where most of the events happen, and that's where they get all their sponsoring, and right now they're doing all their homecoming floats and stuff, and that's
because they do awards. So. I'm pretty sure.
So that's really it's really just a way for them to get personal, benefits and stuff for the actual Greek life, and for the most part, other than that, besides
is this a Danny White thing where he makes homecoming a big game where you sell out the thing, and then that leads to maybe bigger donors or donations in the future?
Maybe Danny White's got the strategy. Maybe we're questioning.
He's a marketing guy. He is. He's a big marketing guy. I like that.
Yeah, makes sense.
We're peeling Danny White back. We're finding out his big plan, and that kind of led to Tennessee's renovations. $30 million renovations to Anderson Training Facility.
Yeah, looks sweet though.
It does look sweet. And people are like, I thought Tennessee had really good facilities. They do, but with everybody able to continuing to add different stuff over time, Tennessee probably doesn't have the same facilities as a Georgia, an Alabama, LSU.
Right.
People are always one-upping somebody else. And that's what's so sad about the baseball program is they've kind of been left in the dust when it looks with facilities and stuff because they were so bad for so long. But start winning and, the donors come, the donations come, and that's when you're able to build a big stadium like Florida did a couple years ago. But, yeah, I think this is really cool. I don't know how long the football players and other athletic teams will be able to use that outdoor basketball court. Maybe that's for some GAs and assistant coaches, but that seems like a big don't let me catch you on that.
Right. No, that just seems one of those leisurely things, right? I saw that and I went, is that a basketball court? And I was like, I mean, why not? Let's go ahead and use our
heated arguments
for the right one. Yeah.
In there. But yeah, it looks really cool. So you saw the pool. Did you watch the video?
Yeah.
The pool, it gave me Bass Pro fish tank vibes.
It
I was
did,
like,
and
that looks like somebody's like going into Bass Pro, like in the fish tank.
yeah, the whole production. I mean, it's cool. Those were the showers, right? That they went through in the first place, and they're coming from the sides. Is that what that was?
I guess so.
It's such an unnecessary touch, but I mean, I'm here for it. But it was just like 20 jets on either side, just blasting water out. And then, of course, because they can't air dry, they've got the industrial like walk-through dryer that you just come out of the
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Somebody said
I
it was
guess,
the transfer portal.
Yeah, I saw that. That's awesome.
Oh man. Yeah, it looks really cool. I was telling somebody, I was like, they probably won't even use like some of the players probably won't even use half that stuff.
Yeah.
Like this outdoor patio, like when they're done, that's the last place they want to be is in that training facility.
Right.
They want to go
Right.
home.
Yeah, it seems a lot of like, more visual touches and stuff, obviously, that they're going to utilize.
Yeah, it's very recruiting heavy. Like,
Right.
That's what all this is for.
Right.
Because the facilities, like, they're better than any high school in the country, so it's definitely an upgrade.
Yeah.
So then you're trying to one up everybody else. I get that. But yeah, it's recruiting is basically what it is. Which is cool. I'm all for it. Hey, we need to get them in here. It's working for Georgia right now.
Right.
I know a lot of
like
people
you
are like
said,
stars don't matter, but they're the best team in the country, and their roster is loaded with 5 stars.
right. And it's kind of like you said, if other schools are going to keep getting, it might seem like a small thing, but honestly, like everybody, if you look in the comments on the video and they released it, literally everybody recruits players to other colleges. They're all like, "Oh, that's so sweet! Like that is damn sick." So like, I think it's definitely a good selling point that like if you're going to try to keep up with the rest of the SEC, the Floridas, the Georgias, the Bamas, have some little touches that a recruit might be sitting there like, "Oh, it's a pretty sweet spot." Like they're turning their program around, and that's not just on the football field; it's outside, and weight rooms are getting upgraded and facilities and stuff. And so I think that's still a major push, and it'll help more than it seems right now, I feel like.
Right. And I think that Anderson Training Facility first opened in 2013, so it's probably time for some more bells and whistles to that place. But it's nuts. Like half the stuff, like Jeremy Pruitt could even spell half the stuff that's in that thing. Like he would be like, "What's that?" Like he did with asparagus.
Oh, it's just so clean. I'm looking at it again right now. I think the orange helps so much too. I'm picturing it right now in like another color, and it's not doing it for me. But
there was a quote in there, and I don't remember the whole quote, but I remember 2 words in it. And it said "championship resources." Again, Danny White going back to marketing.
Yep.
I like that wording. I don't know what it means, but I like it.
I like it too. It sounds championship-esque. So
yeah,
it makes sense.
Look good, play good, I guess is what all this means. That's what it should
Exactly.
be. Pittsburgh is up 17-0 on North Carolina already. Glad I didn't touch that game.
I was going to hammer Pitt.
Oh, really?
Kenny Pickett. After what they did to us, I'm a big fan of once teams beat Tennessee or basketball, football, whatever. I tend to obviously favor them, so we look better. But yeah. I think Pittsburgh's actually they've been underrated the whole time, especially when we played them at the beginning of the season. But they are a very solid team.
I mean, it was at 7, and I felt like that was a trap because North Carolina just beat Wake last week, and they were down 18 points. So, I mean, they're down 17 now, so they could come back.
Could be,
but man, that's not great. Not great start.
No.
Let's get basketball team. They had a good start to the season.
They did.
Was a little rocky in the first half. It was a little too close for comfort. Only ended up 8 at the half, but ended up winning that by 28 points, 90-62 over UT Martin. Dude, Kennedy Chandler is a dog.
I love him, and honestly, I had a little bit of worry. I mean, like any freshman coming in, you don't know if they're going to adapt to the college scene very well. Yep. I have zero doubts about that. He looks so effortless, and just like he has so much confidence in what he's doing that he's just he's really just having fun out there and just knows exactly what he's doing, and so smooth. I just feel like every time, like, you can tell when he's like taking it down, and just I love him.
Yeah, it gives you a peace of mind to have a point guard that can get to the rim at any moment.
Yeah,
that's something
he's
Tennessee hasn't had
too.
in a long time.
Right.
Since probably Jordan Bone. And it took him to a senior year for him to finally use that speed.
Right.
But yeah, he had 20 points, 4 assists, 1 rebound, was 4 for 4 from from 3, and 7 to 10 from the field, 2 and 2 from the free throws. So didn't have a lot of misses.
No. And I you know what? I'll give UT Martin some credit. They looked like a better team than I would give them initial credit to be. They had some guys they had some pretty aggressive and explosive guys, some people that got to the rim that I was like, I didn't expect that. But also another thing is I think obviously a lot of this newer team, a lot of new kids coming in. So I think I'm not gonna say it only took the first half. I think it'll take a couple games until we can play against Nova and really see how they can compete against a really good team. But I think it's gonna take a second to see how they all can. Because, like, you know, they've had the exhibition game and they've practiced, obviously, and stuff. But until you can get on the real game setting, you don't know how you're going to work together in a game setting. So I think first half, like you said, it was a little shaky, but they came out in the second half and seemed to work it out pretty well. Rick Barnes went back there and got them set on track, which, I mean, I was happy with how they played. I'm just glad college basketball's back.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tennessee was out with probably their second best player. I think Kenny Chandler is going to be this – you know, they're going to be on Kenny Chandler's back the entire year. You know, they say March it's all about the point guard. If you got a really good point guard in March, you got a chance. So I think Tennessee's definitely going to ride Kenny Chandler throughout the season. But yeah, you mentioned Villanova coming up, and Tennessee's out of conference schedule is nuts.
It is tough. It's going to be super tough for them this year.
So, I mean, the NCAA tournament should have nothing. You know, those first 2 rounds, you're like, oh, this is cake compared to our non-conference schedule. And then you probably play somebody in the Sweet 16 that you played during the regular season.
Yeah, exactly, which would be fantastic. I would love to see, you know, a little bit better chance at a matchup in the first one of those first 2 rounds. Obviously, we haven't had the best luck of that past couple of years, but –
yeah, we always run into Cinderella for sure.
Of course. Why not, you know? That little Chicago team just love to whatever. I don't think about it.
And then, getting Folke back I think is going to be huge for this team. I think you definitely want to get him back. Hopefully Saturday. I don't know what his status looks like, but I don't think you want his first game to be against Villanova. I think you want to get his feet wet a little bit after – you know, that broken thumb, and then kind of see where you're at as a team. But Tennessee, I think the biggest thing I have with this team is defense.
Yeah.
And then, big men. Yeah. Like Urosh, 16 minutes, he only had 1 rebound. Dude, you're 7 foot tall.
Yeah, I was getting frustrated. I mean, I was there, and it's so frustrating kind of still seeing that same thing where, there was one play in specific that just had me so pissed off because all 4 of them were out on the perimeter, and Olivier Comwell was left to get 2 offensive rebounds by himself. Kept trying to put it up, and I'm like, somebody get in there and come on, you guys can do better than that. You got some big guys. Rose is in. I mean, he's taller than literally anybody else you're going to play. So get him in there and get some boards because that defense isn't going to help. And you get that ball taken away like that, we're not helping in the paint.
Yeah, I know Kumwall's kind of that X factor. If he can figure it out. That could really tell you where Tennessee could be as a team. I just don't know. He had a decent game the other night, had a double-double, 11 points, 14 rebounds. But a lot of those were in that second half. So I just don't know. You can't take away too much from this game. You can't look into it too much. Like you said, Villanova will be a bigger test of where this team's at. I think ETSU is probably I don't know how good they're going to be, but with Des Oliver, Steve Forbes had a pretty good program up there for a long time. So I don't know how good they are this year, but I would say they're probably better than UT Martin. So it'll give you a better indication of what this team looks like. But yeah, big man definitely seems like a problem, especially Folke's gone next year. And there's I like Brandon Huntley Hatfield. I think he has the tools to be a really good big man, but I still think you need a true rim protector. And I don't see it on the roster. And even with Folke, he's not a rim protector.
Right. No, he's
so
not.
I think these two, like Urosh and Olivier, they're going to look fine against teams like this. When you play teams with really good big men, I think it's going to be tough on both of them.
And Josiah Jordan-James still, I was hoping maybe this season. I mean, I guess it's been one game, but he went 1 for 8, 2 points. Just he doesn't seem to fully have it figured out, and it's just I think he's helped on defense, but it's just a little frustrating watching what was a 5-star come in and not produce to what he definitely should have been.
Yeah, and he's going to impact the game in a lot more ways than just points. 1 for 8. Hey, dude, if you can't shoot, well, let's try to stop shooting threes. You're 0 for 5 from the three-point line. Hey, maybe go find your own shot.
Right.
Get to the rim. I mean, he's a big dude. Like, go to the rim. Use that body.
Yeah. That's one of those people we can talk about.
He did have 4 blocks, 5 steals, 1 assist, 5 rebounds. So he's going to impact it in a ton of different ways. But, yeah, gotta find the rim.
Yeah.
Got to get it in the basket somehow, some way. I'm not worried about Tennessee offensively, but I don't know is Josiah Jordan-James our best defender?
I would say.
I'm not saying that as a bad thing, but like, there's no one else that I'm just like, yeah, he's a really good defender. He's a really good defender. I mean, last year that's all we had was defense because no one could shoot.
Right. Well, we had also had Eve Pons, which is, I mean, come on.
Right. We had Pons, Keon, Jaden, like all 3 of those guys are really good defenders.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm kind of worried defensively on where this team's at. Hopefully they figure it out. I like Justin Powell. I think he's, maybe Kenny Chandler's their best. He's going to be their best player, and maybe he's their best shooter. But I think, like, when you look at a dead-eye shooter, that's what Justin Powell looks like to me.
For sure. I think Kenny Chandler, Santiago Vescovi, and Justin Powell, like those 3 are going to be those ones that even if we're in a game where we're down and we need to go on a run, I am not going to lose any hope if we're down 15, even maybe 20 with enough time left, because those guys, when they get hot, I mean, Justin Powell, I think only made 3 threes, but I felt like every time he got the ball, it was just like, shoot the 3, you're going to make it. Like, he's just got a clean shot. Like you said, he's a sharpshooter. It's going to be you feel like it's just always going to go in. So I feel like those 3 around the perimeter are always going to be really solid. I mean, how many threes do they have combined? So Vescovi had 6, Kenny Chandler had 4, so it's 13 out of 17. I mean, that's big.
Yeah, so I mean, they were combined. I think Vescovi missed. So he missed 5. He missed 2. So they were 13 for 20 from 3. The 3 of those guys were. I mean, if you didn't have Josiah Jordan-James going 0 for 5, you're shooting well over 50%.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So, I mean, we're raining threes. That's something that Tennessee hasn't. I know Rick Barnes loves the mid-range, but, he's seen teams in the SEC like Alabama, like an Auburn, really find their way and have success by having really good shooters on the perimeter. And it looks like Tennessee's got that. They set a Thompson Bowling record with 17 three-pointers made in their first game. So I can't imagine what that's going to be like this season.
Yeah, I would like to see them find a little bit better, not success, but just look like they have a better plan down in the paint, because obviously we've got perimeter on lockdown. That seems 17 threes, like you said. That's definitely take that.
We hit more three-pointers than we did two-pointers.
Right, which is great for like fun stats, but when it comes down to it and we actually need to – if you got a team that can defend the 3 really well and defend perimeter, and we're not able to crash the boards and be able to get in the paint anywhere against them, it's not even going to be close, and we're not going to be able to fight for ourselves on that.
Yeah, live by the 3, die by the 3.
Yeah. You know what, though? If we get blown out and lose games putting up 17 threes, did you really lose? I mean, it's pretty damn stout.
Yeah. And scoring points. I mean, hey, when in doubt, let's score points. That's what football's doing. That's what basketball seems to be doing. I mean, I think they scored 90 points 3 times all of last season. We've already done it once so far this season. So, really liking what I'm seeing offensively. I need to see more defensively. Need Folky back. And Kumar, Brandon Huntley, Hatfield, one of those two, they have to be a dude.
Yeah.
Somehow, some way. I like Brandon Huntley. I feel like he's definitely has the higher ceiling.
Right.
Now, how long is he going to be at Tennessee? I don't know. But I hope we're able to get him. I know he was he reclassified, so he should still technically be a senior in high school. So, maybe that gives him the reason to stay another year. I think that'd be big for next year.
Yeah. I haven't seen enough from him to like really feel confident about him. I mean, I know he obviously has the size and the ability to be a solid defender, but I feel like what I would like is about halfway through the season to say that like Folky and Kamwa can be like our really solid defenders that seem to be stand out. And I feel like that's got a good chance and the most likely chance of happening. But if Huntley Hatfield can get in there and help out on that front, do double-digit rebounds per game and play solid defense, I think I'll feel a little better about our defense.
I don't know what our transition stats were the other night, but it just seemed like I feel like we're super athletic, so I feel like that should be a focal point of this offense. Hey, let's get out and run. Let's get wide open threes in transition. Let's get to the rim in transition with a point guard like Kennedy Chandler. And you have bigs. Kumwal is, there's no like huge guys on this team. They're all pretty thin, athletic. So guys like Folky, Brandon Huntley, Hatfield, Kumwal, they can get out and run too. So I think this whole team, that should be a key of emphasis for this team to get out and let's out athletic people. Let's do that.
For sure.
Seems fun.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like why not? And honestly, if we can do that and just stay ahead of ourselves and keep these younger guys moving and progressing, I think we'll have a fun season. And with the lineup that we have in our schedule, I think there's going to be a lot of fun games. And I hope those are just at least, close games and not just blowouts. I want to have some fun games to watch this season, especially home games.
Yeah. I don't know if Kenny Chandler's taking it personally, but he wasn't named to a single all-conference team.
Yeah, he'll take that personally.
Yeah, maybe he's just on a revenge tour.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Because he better be. He should be. So, honestly.
Look out.
Good. We don't want him on the list anyway. Like you said, revenge tour. I like that.
College football.
Yeah.
So it is 17-7 now, this North Carolina-Pittsburgh game.
Okay.
I'm just going to kind of go through all the top 25 matchups, and we can kind of pick through there. If you got a game you like within that, let me know, and we can get some picks off here. All so we have Cincinnati, South Florida tomorrow. I think we both got Cincinnati.
Obviously.
Would you put them in the college football playoff? Let's just get that going.
I feel since the beginning of the season, I said Cincinnati. I feel like they're going to be right at the edge, and this is like exactly where we are, where they're like right at the 5 spot, and we're not sure because they're the undefeated team, but can they hold up against like Ohio State or Oregon? Mm-hmm. I wish they were in. It's a tricky position because I don't know that I would put them in if I was on the committee, but I certainly wish that they were, and I would like to see them in there.
Yeah. I would hope they get in. I don't think they do, just because the committee basically said that with the college football playoff ranking that, hey, no matter how good you are, you're not going to get in.
Right.
Because your schedule's butt, and the only team you really beat was Notre Dame.
Right.
But the people are like, oh, they would get blown out by Georgia. Okay, yeah, that's a good argument, I guess. But whoever is in that 4 spot is getting blown out by Georgia. So who cares who it is?
And it's going to come down. It's going to be the same thing where it comes down to who'd rather watch Georgia versus Ohio State, or would you rather watch Georgia versus Cincinnati? And obviously, Ohio State Georgia is going to pull in.
It's more money. Yeah,
exactly, which is a shame, but nothing I can do about it. So
Saturday noon, you got Alabama, New Mexico State. That's going to be a freaking great game. Can't wait for that. 51-point favorite. Oh, that's disgusting. Yeah, I'm guessing. I'm thinking New Mexico State. No,
they might keep it close.
Yeah, good Lord. That's so dumb. Michigan and Penn State. This is a good game.
Yeah, it's at Penn State. It's going to be electric. I would like to say Michigan covers 1.5 points, but also Penn State at home is terrifying. That place is insane and rowdy, so I probably would stay off of it.
Okay.
But I feel like Michigan might be the better team to come in and definitely beat Penn State. But like I said, with that home atmosphere, that's one of those where, like, if Penn State's up earlier, I'm like, why would I bet that? Like, look at this place. It's going crazy. Like, no.
Yeah. I think I'm going to bet this one, and I think I got it at -1. Michigan at -1.
Yeah.
I think they have a better team than Penn State. I don't trust Sean Clifford. Sorry, but I don't.
No, he stinks.
And I think Michigan's defense is going to hold up. I think Michigan gets some big plays out of their passing game, kind of like they did against Michigan State. And Penn State doesn't have Kenneth Walker to beat them.
Yeah.
Next one. Oklahoma, Baylor.
Yeah, I like Baylor.
You like Baylor?
Plus 5.5.
Okay.
I feel like Oklahoma's frauds. They've managed to win, but I feel like they definitely have some wins they don't deserve exactly. And Baylor's at home. 5.5 seems a little high.
This is a trap game. And I'm glad you're picking Baylor because it is a trap game because Baylor just lost to a terrible TCU team.
Right.
Pretty much without a head coach. They have an interim head coach and lost. So, yeah, this just seems like Oklahoma could blow them out by 40 points or Baylor could end up winning this game. Like, that's –
yeah. Well, that was my initial thought, but it seemed like such a square bet that I'd be like – that's where I always get in trouble. It's I'm like, oh, obviously, like, Oklahoma would find a way because they have all season found a way to just – still win by definitely cushioning amounts too on some of these other teams. But
so do you think Baylor wins?
No, I don't.
Okay, you think
I think Oklahoma will still find a way to
close.
stay undefeated, but I think it's off like a field goal or something close,
like
which would make me scared to make it 5.5. But
yeah,
I still feel like I would have to take Baylor on that one.
Mm-hmm. Auburn against Mississippi State.
That's gonna be a good game. I like that.
-5.5. This seems like a trap too.
Yeah, I'm staying away from that one.
Yeah, Auburn did not impress me at all last week, so I'm probably not going to touch that one either.
No.
Wisconsin, Northwestern. Good God, Wisconsin's going to destroy Northwestern.
Yeah.
Wisconsin's figured it out. I would never bet on them to beat a team by 24.5 points when the over-under is 41, but they're pretty good.
Northwestern did keep it close against Iowa last week, so I'm not saying I would bet it, but 24.5, that's a lot of points.
Well, did you see what Wisconsin did to Iowa, though?
Yes, but I feel like coming off that big, Wisconsin's always been kind of one of those, like, or at least as of recent, been like, oh, like, I'll get super hyped for them to, like, bet on them, and I'm just like, damn, what do you guys look like? What are you doing? So they definitely did tear Iowa up, but can they keep that up the next following week, or well, I guess after Rutgers, but can they keep that up? I don't know.
I don't know either. Like you said, there's always that one Big Ten team that always is just kind of there.
Yeah,
and I feel like it's always Wisconsin or Iowa. It's one of those teams that are just like they're never gonna win it, but they're always like they'll beat a team, like they'll score 50 on a team, and the next week they'll score 7 points.
Right.
Utah, Arizona. God, Arizona is terrible.
1-8. Yikes.
Oh my God.
I haven't watched nearly enough of any Arizona football to have any I mean, they suck.
Yeah, I just always assume they're like right around 500 because that's usually like every Pac
Right. Yep.
10 team. Yeah, I mean Utah's gonna destroy them. Georgia, Tennessee. We already picked that one. It is the line is at 20. You like the over?
For Tennessee, was it 56?
Yeah.
Not really, but I've never bet the under, so
Life's too short, right?
exactly.
I
wouldn't
did
feel
bet one
confident
under this
in the
week,
over.
and it's Michigan Penn State. I bet the under in that one.
Okay. I like that. That's pretty
I
I
think
like
it's
that. What was it at?
49.
Okay.
Yep. I
Yeah, I
think
don't
those
hate
are
that.
pretty two good defenses, and then they're running teams also. So
Right.
Purdue, Ohio State. This also seems like a trap game.
Yeah. No matter what, I'm taking Purdue plus 21 just because I don't
It's
like Ohio
21.
State, but it's 21. It's a lot of points. Purdue loves to just mess with teams like that. They don't want to win. They know they're not going to win the national championship. They're not going to do anything too crazy, but they love to be the home wrecker and just come in and be like,
Oh yeah.
hey, top 10 team, you wanna fight for this
Tussle.
win or get smoked? Yeah, exactly. It's awesome. I love it.
But was their signature slaying the dragon last week
Probably.
against Michigan State?
Yeah.
I
Whatever.
don't know.
21 points.
Again, trap game. But yeah, 21 points.
I take Purdue.
If anything under 21, I'm not touching it. But 21 is
It's right there.
That's enticing for sure.
And if Purdue was home, I'd hammer it. But also, I feel like Ohio State's home field advantage has not helped much this year, at least in my
They're a weird team
what I've seen.
too.
So they're a very weird team.
Iowa and Minnesota.
-5.
-5. The over and under is 37. That's stupid.
Oh my god. 37? I feel like that's one of those where
You
say-
take the over just because.
right, you're like,
so,
it's 37 points, and it ends up being like 17 to 14, and you're like, damn. What do you think? I don't know that I'd be confident enough to pick Iowa -5, but at the same time, just because it feels like a little too.
Yeah. I'm probably not touching that. That seems like a field goal game that could go either way, and I'm not. If I was to do this, I'd probably tease Minnesota down.
Okay.
So I'd get it at like 11 or 11.5.
Doing one of you just still doing those super teasers or whatever?
Yeah, so I get them at 18 with that, with the 13.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah, I don't know if everybody heard me last time, but I've been doing these monster teasers on DraftKings, and it's like -13. So if you do 4 teams, -13, it's like so it adds on 13, whichever way you do it. And it's like -140. I mean, you just put a lot of money on that.
Yeah,
it did win last week because Florida sucked ass. They were terrible.
No, awful.
And I mean, you take that loss because I would never in a million years thought that South Carolina was just going to score 40 points on Florida and then win 40-10.
Yeah, they routed them. But yeah, that's one of those where you can't even feel bad because
Right.
you'd have been crazy if you would have picked in the opposite direction.
Next one we got UTSA and Southern Miss. That's going to be rough.
Yeah.
UTSA is still undefeated.
Yeah. Or what? -33? That's pretty hefty. But
See,
I'm sure
my thing is like, yeah, I know Cincinnati was kind of already up there, and then they beat Notre Dame. But like, I don't know. How are they not at least up higher than number 23?
Right. I mean, have they had a really what was their set win that really put them apart? Because they've had some solid wins against average teams, but
Yeah, I mean UTSA, they beat Illinois, they beat Memphis.
okay, and they beat Illinois. Oh, that was the
I mean,
first
yeah,
game.
that's a Power 5 win. I mean, that's about the same as Cincinnati. Yeah, I mean, Notre Dame and Illinois are different. I get it, but I don't know.
I think it's just one of those where you look at who's 22.
I think
through
Cincinnati
15.
kind of dug their own grave when they got College Game Day to go there, and they barely beat a Tulsa team that was like 500.
Yeah.
Did not do them any favors, at least. Well, lost my spot.
Michigan State, Maryland.
Ooh, that's a big game. Is this a bounce back for Michigan State, or are they just are what they are now?
I feel like
Michigan State, their pass defense is terrible, and that's all Maryland does is throw the ball.
Yeah.
So, like, if this was 14, I would probably take Maryland. 13, I don't know if I'm touching this.
That's why Vegas always knows. I feel like it's almost scary how accurate they can be. So I think you're right. I don't think they technically need a bounce back game. I think Purdue's an excuse because you could say Purdue just likes to screw over big teams, but I wouldn't say 13. That's a little high. I kind of would like that. Coming off a loss, aren't going to bounce back to like 20, 30-point win, but I don't know. Probably stay away from that one as well.
Texas A&M, Ole Miss. I like this game.
I love this game, and I want to take Texas A&M so bad.
I'm taking it. -2.5. I'm taking it.
Yeah.
I just think Ole Miss is banged up, and they aren't the same as they were, and I just think that Texas A&M defense can handle Matt Corral.
Right. Yeah, I would love to see them go in there and beat Ole Miss up at home.
And Spiller's going to run all over that Ole Miss defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing it's in Oxford, night game, but
that's what worries me.
Texas A&M is rolling.
Yeah, I think if it was at Texas A&M, I think might see it at -5.5 or something for them. I think they're probably giving Ole Miss a field goal for being at home, and I don't know. I'll take Texas A&M though.
Did Ole Miss? They lost to Auburn, correct? Yeah, 31-20.
It's Auburn. Okay.
And Texas A&M destroyed Auburn.
This is true.
So I like 2.5. That's probably my one lock.
Okay. I don't hate it. I don't know. Yeah, it's one of the more ones I felt confident about as we've gone down the list. So I guess that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, and like as we get the more and more we get in the season, like Vegas just sharpens up the lines. Like they're just insane.
Yeah.
So there's nothing like I went through this week. That was the only one I was like, I like that. Pretty much the only one.
Okay.
Notre Dame, Virginia. This is another pretty big game.
On ABC, night game. Notre Dame wins, but I don't know about 5.5.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that.
I could see it being a field goal game just for the sake of primetime night game.
I think I'm going to put them in like a money line parlay, but
Yeah.
I don't think I'm touching 5.5.
Yeah, I can feel that. It's a little scary for me.
Yep. NC State, Wake Forest. Wake 2.5. Or no, it was just 2 now.
2.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's moving the opposite direction. I like Wake Forest -2.
I do too. And I also kind of like the over.
It is 67.
Okay.
Shit. I feel
Wake
like
Forest has destroyed that in the past 2 games. I don't know how good NC State's defense is, but I know they can score.
Yeah.
I'm not betting it, but I do like Wake. I'd probably just do money line. I'm not even going to touch 2.
Yeah, because that's one of those where you're like, oh, 2's fine, it's easy. Vegas knows more than you. It's a 1-point win. Something BS where you're like, come on, it's 1 point. Are you kidding me?
Right. Yeah.
It's not worth it for the price for the.
Yeah.
the
Don't let a bad beat make you lose some money.
Exactly.
Another trap game. Arkansas LSU. Is LSU good?
I don't know, and I think that's the definition of why it's a trap game.
Yeah.
Because, you got Coach O on the outs. Do you rally behind that at home when you've actually looked trending okay, maybe possibly better than you were before?
Mm-hmm.
Keeping it close against Alabama. Arkansas just coming back in after the Mississippi State game. I don't know. I don't think they're good, but I feel like Arkansas -3 would be such. If you asked me this 2 weeks ago, Arkansas against LSU -3, I would be like, hammer that all day.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody's business. But for some reason, that it's that close makes me not want to go with the square bet. But I still feel like Arkansas just has to be the better team there.
I agree. I don't know what team I'd actually pick in that. TCU, Oklahoma State.
12 points seems a lot, but Oklahoma State should cover that.
Yeah,
but
I agree. TCU's not good, but they also beat Baylor last week.
Right, like what we were talking about earlier. So do you rally off that, or is that just kind of like a one-and-done lucky kind of solid win?
Yeah. Or do they have like a Coach O thing where they fire their coach and their team has something to play for now? I don't know what it is. It's weird.
Maybe a little different flow. Get some toxicity.
Momentum is a crazy thing.
Yeah. Probably won't touch that, but should be a good one.
No. Oregon, Washington State.
Oregon.
Yeah, Oregon 14 points. That just seems too easy.
Yeah. Again, that's where it's like a little too square for me, but
Washington State's another team that their coach is gone and they seem to be playing okay without him. So why can't teams just throw in the towel and let us win some money?
I don't know. That'd be awesome.
You got to make it difficult.
Yeah.
Last one. Best kicker in the country, San Diego State, Nevada.
I feel like I haven't picked enough away upsets. So I wish it was like -5 or -6, but I like Nevada money line for fun. Why not?
Okay.
Away, like it's such a bad bet that it almost feels right. It's such a late game.
I'm just hammering San Diego State just because I love their punter.
Yeah. Is he the one that
he's had like 3 80-yard punts?
Okay, that was him. I couldn't remember if that was San Diego State or somebody else, but yeah, that's actually I watched that today. Those are nuts.
They lost to Fresno and they beat Hawaii by 7 last week. So -3. I don't know. I'm probably not touching it.
Yeah.
I don't want to hate the best punter in the country, so I'm gonna leave it.
Yeah, I'll take Nevada money line. Just that's my one shocker. That's not an obvious call.
Do you have a don't bet on teams list?
Not as much for football as I probably would basketball, but
yeah, basketball. I got Iowa basketball.
Yeah,
hate them.
No, now that Luka Garza's gone, I'd feel a little better about that. But yeah, same thing. Yeah. I will never ever bet on or against App State or Loyola Chicago. Those are just two. Doesn't work. Loyola Chicago for the Tennessee thing, and I tried to fade them for the rest of the year for that NCAA March Madness run.
Mm-hmm.
It was an awful decision, and App State just likes to. I can never get on the right side of their bets. So those are just two teams that I won't bet on App State for football either, strictly because of that. But other than that, I don't have like a big list. I don't know about you.
I don't like Iowa. I don't do Memphis basketball either.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of. I don't do the Memphis Grizzlies either. So I'll tell you this story real quick. So one night they were up on the Lakers. It was in the first quarter. They were up it was 30-2. Like it was insane, just destroying them. It was a pick'em game live, and I'm like, oh, no doubt. So I hammered it. They got beat by 28 points.
That's awful. That's just one of those where it's like they know, like Vegas knows, and you're like, there's no way.
I was like, what? A pick 'em? I was like, they're about 25.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude! I was just watching it, and as soon as I hit it, of course, like Lakers just
That's exactly how
drilling
it is.
three, drilling three, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god, why did I do that?
Yeah. Live bets scare me sometimes. College basketball I do pretty solid. I'm 4-2 so far in college basketball, and I think 4 of those have been live bets. So
Okay,
but
Killing
other than
it.
that, no, that's the worst feeling in the world when you're like, oh, that's so obvious, they're getting destroyed right now, and then or
yeah,
vice versa.
and I did the Ja Morant. I made the mistake of doing the Grizzlies. The Ja Morant hit a 3-pointer the other night on DraftKings.
Yeah,
Of course, he went 0 for 2.
that's awful. Same with those. Have you seen the what is it? I think you were
3
talking
by
about
2?
watching the 2. Yeah, the 2 threes in the first
Yeah, that's.
3 minutes. I'd
I'd love to
and
see the stats on those.
Well, I feel like every time since the beginning of when I first saw them pop up, I was like, no chance, like that's gonna hit. And I always see on Instagram after like our 3x2 hit tonight, and like I bet him once, and then one time I did, it didn't hit, and I was like, no, never touching that ever again.
Yeah. So like so they used to be where they were plus money each time. So if one hit, you were gonna win some money.
Yeah.
Well, now it's like minus 10 or like plus 100. So if one hits, then if you do both of them, if one doesn't hit, then you lose money. So I'm just like, I'm not doing that.
It's not worth it.
No. Nope. But that's all I got for you got any more? We just hit on the top 25s. Do you have any more you want to hit on?
Not that I think of that aren't top matchups.
I know Caleb's playing a Coastal Carolina over. I'm done with Coastal Carolina. I'm not betting on them anymore.
No, y'all were high on them earlier on, but
Yeah, Jamie Chadwell's a fraud. I'm just kidding. I like him, but
they are 10.5 against Georgia State. I mean, if they can play the game right, I don't hate that bet. I wish it was 10 or 9.5.
yeah.
But it's 10.5 for a reason.
I just don't. I mean, Georgia State, they almost beat Auburn. They should have beat Auburn.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not touching that.
Other than that, Syracuse and Louisville might be a bad enough good game. If that makes it'd be a good game, but bad results. If that makes any sense.
Yeah,
might be a fun one to watch and bet on.
Well, let's get into those segments. What's trending?
OBJ to the Rams.
OBJ to the Rams. That's insane because they already have like the best wide receiver, well, fantasy wise, in Cooper Kupp.
Right.
I mean, do the Rams? They should win a Super Bowl easily.
They should, and they didn't look like they could win a Super Bowl last week.
But they're not. They're not going to. Like the best team never wins it.
No, it's always the more fun team. It's going to come in and cause a little damage.
Hopefully, it's the Bills because the Bills are not looking great right now. But I really need the Bills to win the Super Bowl.
Do you got a preseason bet on that?
I put 50 on it to win 650.
Okay, what'd you catch that at?
So it was right before the season. They did a thing where you put 50 on them, and then every time they win a game, up to 10 games. So I wanted to get a team that was going to win 10 games.
Yeah.
You get $5 in site credit back.
Okay.
So you get your 50 back.
Right.
If they win 10 games, which the Bills in that division with the Dolphins and the Jets and the Patriots, they should win 10 games.
Right. Yeah, I've seen that with like first to score a touchdown, and then like how many touchdowns your teams you get $5 in site credit all the way till your bet back or whatever.
Yeah, so I did that. So that'd be nice if they would win that, but
yeah, they I don't know if the Rams will. I think OBJ. I've heard a lot of different people say it, but that he's a cancer to football teams, and once he gets on there, he starts starts locker room trouble or maybe starts, a little OBJ curse action. But this one might work out. For some reason, I can't picture him in a Rams jersey at all, but maybe that's why it's working so well. Is that
and maybe not go shirtless in jeans on a yacht anytime soon.
No, I think he's learned that maybe that's not okay anywhere.
Yeah. My next one is kind of similar. Cam Newton back to the Panthers.
Yeah. That's
Life
big.
comes at you fast, full circle.
Yeah, I saw that this morning. I'm glad. Good for him. They need him.
Somebody said that they are paying Cam Newton's replacement, and they are now paying Cam Newton to replace his replacement.
Yes, basically. I know I actually understand what that means, but it sounds confusing.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold just he started off really hot, and now he just looks oof.
Yeah, and that's another. I have a great tweet from this. So Ian Rappaport said it's an incomplete fracture for Sam Darnold, and some guy commented and said this man can't even complete a fracture.
I saw that. That is just awful. He's getting when you're getting clowned by. I think he was just one of their own fans. That's what I thought it was or something. He was wearing
That's hilarious.
Panthers jersey, but when you're getting clowned by your own fans that bad, so let's give Cam Newton a chance. Why not?
Yeah.
Get DJ Moore some better reception since he's on my fantasy team.
Gosh.
Started out way hot.
They can't stay healthy is the issue. Christian McCaffrey is him and Saquon Barkley are always injured somehow, some way.
No.
My next what's trending is John Fulgerson.
Okay.
Is given back to Vol Hoops. So he pledged $1 to the Tennessee Fund for every point the team scores this year. So I thought that's really cool. All the NIL stuff that he's earned. I mean, he's got Mayfield and Pals. Those are the big ones. I'm sure he's got others. But him to give back, I think that's really cool. I mean, a lot of kids in that position are not giving money back to a program that they play for.
No, and they're so worried about their future stock and how they look and self-perception. John Fulgerson's just a down-to-earth, nice guy. That's the most John Fulgerson move ever, just to be
icon. VFL, baby.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we love him. That's the definition of VFL. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we love about good old Fulgerson.
Officiating. Did you see the Bears game on Monday?
I saw fragments of it, mostly the end.
So they called it for taunting. So they get a sack. Guy kind of looks over toward the opposing sideline, and then he walks back, and then the freaking official hip checks him.
Yeah. That's so blatantly awful that needs to be reviewed after the fact, because that's not one of those you just brush off at the end of the game. You're like, whatever, that really screwed us over, and that looks like what an idiot ref. But dude, what?
First of all, the taunting thing is so dumb, and what's even more dumb is all the coaches are mad about it, but they're the ones who agreed on this. They voted to have this put in place. So this is kind of their own fault. But an official hip checking a player that could absolutely destroy that man in a second. I mean, that's just so disrespectful. I mean, that's holding authority over somebody. That's crap.
It pisses me off. And there's no way the refs enjoy calling those taunting calls or anything like that, because it's so agreed. That's so obvious. And if you love football, or even if you slightly enjoy football, and those refs obviously officiate football for a reason, you can't enjoy ruining aspects of the game where you can look at a bench and get called for taunting. Come on. Same thing when what was it, Iowa State or whatever, several weeks ago. He was running back and was just looking behind them, running in the end zone. It's like, you're going to call that back because I get it. I get why we implemented it in the first place for like really severe stuff, but we went way too far on the other side with that. It's
right.
ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty stupid. Do you have any more what's trending?
No, that was the brunt of it. Unless you are considering any Kenny Pickett for Heisman talks.
Hey. You're big
other
on
than
Kenny Pickett. You love some.
I love people that break my heart a little bit. So
Okay.
I had to hop on his back a little bit after that L that we took, but I don't think it's not going to actually probably pan out at all. But
yeah,
definitely better than
I do think he's probably the top quarterback coming out.
I do too. I think obviously Matt Corral. I feel like I think he's going to be special in the NFL. I don't know if it shows this year, or maybe he'll have the top
and I
stats
also
at the end
think
of the day,
it depends on where he ends up too. Like if he ends up on a crappy team, like he probably won't last very long. But if he ends up with a good offensive coordinator, hey, maybe Joe Brady. I feel like Joe Brady could do a lot with Matt Corral. Maybe they look at that. We'll see. Yeah, Kenny Pickett. I feel like he's a safe pick. Like what you're going to get out of Kenny Pickett.
Right. It's consistent, and he's you're right, safe option. Has that certain type.
I got one stupidity, and it's from the Tennessee-Kentucky game last week.
Awesome.
So if you listen to the commentators in that game, they're absolutely abysmal. Like it was one of the worst things I've ever. Like I can't believe we are sitting here doing this for free, and they're getting paid to make up some shit on the spot. Like I have no clue what they're talking about. But this is kind of like what they said in this sequence. It says it's sort of a decision time here because it's 4th and 10, and now you still want to tie this game. You've got an offensive lineman down. That's a running back down. It's a decision good Lord. Decision you make right now as a head coach. That's Chris Rodriguez, not an offensive lineman. Wow, just kind of going through my head right now. 2 timeouts, 4th and 10. Offensively, are you playing for the tie or are you playing for a win? Do you want to put your quarterback in a situation of trying to force the ball to get 10 yards, or do you just get enough yards to make a comfortable field goal? I think in this situation, you don't want to leave any time left for Tennessee if you do tie it up. That's another thing you have to worry about. He said, woo, and he started laughing. It's a tough one. Well, you need a play for 11 yards, right? Right, but it's a tough one because do you think they should kick it? No. I think they should get 11 yards, but I don't know they're going to get 11 yards on 4th and 10 because now you're thinking about giving the ball all the way back to Tennessee with no time on the clock. So this is an important 4th down. That's a tough one. I'm trying to figure it out. I mean, that was just like, what? First of all, they're not in field goal range, so they have to get a 4th down or it's over.
Yeah.
So, like, they have to get 11 yards. It's not like he was like, yeah, this is a big 4th down. No crap. This is the game.
Right. It's always the worst when, like, you already have a base level of, like, stupidity and just, like, what are you saying? And then they try to cover for each other so that they can both sound better in terms of, like, oh, I know what you're talking about, even though, like, it just makes no sense. And that's where you just get straight absolute, like, just what are you talking about? Like, at this point, just don't talk. I'd rather, like, get some mic'd up players and just listen to the sidelines or something. Like, just stop. Like, you're bringing nothing to the game.
Poor Cedric Tillman. I don't think they got his name right one time on Saturday.
I didn't get to see it. Live. I had to watch the replay because I was at the Morgan Wallen concert. But
there you go, Bristol baby.
It was the Rome, Georgia one because I was away for the Bristol one. But yeah, that was a whole different scenario.
How was it? Was it fun?
That was fantastic. We had to.
Is there anything in Rome, Georgia? What's in Rome?
There's nothing in Rome, Georgia. It was the thing. He was supposed to play there last year, which means he probably set that venue over a year and a half ago, which he wasn't as big then. So it was a great venue itself, but no, Rome, Georgia, didn't seem ideal for it.
Mm-hmm.
Nonetheless, the fact that me and my girlfriend had to drive back at 5 a.m. just because, or well, I guess 2 a.m. there, and then we weren't back till 5 just because hotel trouble. They gave up our room at the hotel, and we had to drive back at 2 a.m., which was.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Did you all go full Karen and get like a free stay?
Oh yeah, I let her take over the reins of that, and she loved to get on. We got customer support on the phone, and she did her little thing, and we got like 70,000 free points now for Marriott or something stupid. So.
Oh heck yeah, dude! Worth it.
Power to her.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
My stupidity, which is just kind of on the spot, but I was just thinking, probably just I don't know who to blame, but Gary Danielson and all of CBS for making. I'm glad I'll be at the game and I don't have to listen to them.
Thank God.
And if I wasn't, I would be at a bar somewhere that was loud enough to drown them out because I would rather stare at a wall for 3 hours than listen to them talk me through a Tennessee game. Again,
100%.
I'm done with it. CBS coverage is, not to mention the TV timeouts every 5 seconds. So, I just want to call CBS out for the entirety of CBS for sports.
Just being trash.
Yeah, awful.
That's all I got for
Same
stupidity.
Here.
Guys, it's been fun. We did get to fill out pretty much a whole show, so we killed it. Joe, thanks for joining with us full time today.
Of course.
Hopefully we get our fearless leader Caleb back here soon. But y'all have fun at the game. Enjoy the tailgate. Tailgate's going to be probably the best part, sadly, Saturday. So come tailgate. We'll be at the Poplar Street lot. Come by, see us. We'll be there. I'll be there early. It'll be a lot of fun. Go Vols, black jerseys. So are we all wearing black again, or are we just – because I don't want to do that because I feel like that's a Georgia color.
That is true. Because then the
we're
black
orange. We're orange or white. Let
the
players wear black. We'll wear our true colors.
That's how it turned out, even for the South Carolina game when it was
when
we were supposed to wear black. It was basically mostly orange. Not a lot of people wanted to wear full black on that day because it was hot anyway. So I'm going with orange.
All right, guys.
The orange suit.
Go Vols. We'll get our orange goggles on for Saturday, and then we'll really do a score prediction then. Sound good?
Hell yeah. Deal.
All right, guys. We're bringing the boat in, and we out.